Parsons' comments regarding Mike McCarthy after the game, saying, paraphrasing, Mike can leave when he does leave. He can go coach wherever he wants to. He's really playing for guys like Zach who have put more work in than Mike McCarthy has. Did you have a problem with those comments?
I'm not a good evaluator here for you. You say, well, do you personally have a problem? Do you think, and I'm smiling a little bit if we can this morning, do you think I've ever had anything interpreted in a way that I probably said it that way, that 99% of the people would interpret it, but it's a whoops, and I didn't mean it to sound that way. Well, you're talking to the wrong guy. I've had that happen a lot, as you well know. And so I know those kinds of things happen. I know that his deference, and I'm serious about this is a fact. It was not meant, no matter how it sounded, it was not meant as a critique of the coaches or the coach. It was meant as a concern for the veteran players, such as Zach Martin, that might not have that much more in their career left. And he meant as a concern to them because they don't have the length of time to right the ship as much as a player like Micah or the younger players. That's how it was meant. There's no doubt in my mind it was meant that way. There's no game. Mike does not feel, and Micah does not feel a lack of appreciation for, of all people, our head coach, Mike. Micah does. Getting my Micahs and Micahs messed up. But that's just not the case. I can tell you for a fact that is not the case. And I visited extensively with everybody involved here. That is not the case. It was an expression of being more concerned about a teammate. Players in there. And it's really informing to know that they have sensitivity about guys that are at the end of their careers. And, of course, Zach Martin has been an influence on that team out there to a large degree. And he would, and a young player like Micah, Zach Martin would have statue of coaching caliber. So he was a concern for him. But believe you me, he does understand completely and is sensitive about the fact that the coaches are having to deal and wear what they're wearing.
Jerry Jones here on The Fan, and we agree with your take. We thought it was overblown, but it did add to the quote-unquote noise. And I'm curious, and we know how you feel about it in terms of the coverage, Jerry, and you guys are all over, as always, because of this story and more. When is the last time that you said, man, there is actually too much noise? There's too much of a circus a little bit. Have you ever thought it? And what do you say to those who think there is too much, that the Cowboys are, a marketing firm, it's entertainment and then football?
Well, you can imagine that when the noise is substantiated, or the noise, I use that word and I'm not accidentally using, but when we have our state that we have, then the fact that all of the noise has negative tints to it, the negative is what is happening. That's what we're doing. That's why it is happening. Now, the fact that that noise is there, I would say because we are as out front as we are as a team and an organization, then you're going to have a louder and more noise that's negative. And when you're not playing well, that's a given. And it drifts over into all areas of the look at what the Cowboys are, the look of what sports is, the look of what football is. And so without arm waving here this morning, nothing about this surprises me at all. And again, I can say it. I'm not saying it in any way. But this is small potatoes compared to what some of the things I've been through over the years with the Cowboys.
All right, Jerry, we had fun at the beginning. We talked, remember, about how strong your jaw is. So here comes the here comes the left hook from the fans this morning. The biggest topic the biggest topic they're asking about, of course, is the sunlight coming through the stadium. That was a big topic after the game. CeeDee Lamb believed he missed out on a touchdown on Sunday because, in fact, his exact quote afterwards was yes, 1,000% when asked if he'd be in favor of curtains being installed. What do you have to say to that?
Well, I would say that this falls in that category we were just talking about. There's a lot to talk about. I don't believe anybody living believes that that game, what we need to work on. And that's what I meant being incredulous when somebody asked me about that. Of all of the things that we all need to improve, that is way down the list of improvement. All I can say is that stadium was built to feel like it's outdoors when you're indoors. And it was built to have sunlight coming in every way that you could put it out there as though it were open air, yet still being inside. It's the largest air-conditioned space in the world, the stadium. It has over 3 million cubic feet of air-conditioned space. My biggest thought when we were building it was don't have it not look like it's outdoors. Make it look like it's outdoors. And so all of the things that are a part of that out there is a concept as though you were sitting out there with no roof, no doors, no anything, and you're playing in the elements. Every venue has certain things that at certain ways and times in the contest can create an advantage. That really goes under the category of home field advantage. And so usually, and that's the case with us, that if there's a field, or in the case it's your home field, which it is of the Dallas Cowboys, it should be an advantage to the home team. So I don't want to adjust it for one reason, is because it is an advantage to us. Over the years, we've played 52 games that have anything to do with the time of year when that sun could be there, obviously eliminating night games and games where the sun is not, wouldn't be involved. But we've had 52 games. We've won the majority of them. But more important than anything, we know where, in basketball, we know where the dead spots are on the floor. That's our advantage. That should be our advantage. We get to play there more, and we get to have it as an advantage. It has been an advantage for us to know where the sun is. I don't want to change that.
Absolutely understand the aesthetic appeal of it. It does look like an outdoor stadium. But is this something that you think you have failed to capitalize on with a game plan? Do you need to game plan for this each and every week?
Well, we do. We basically do. We get big time reports where that sun is going to be during the course of a game. Kellen Moore knew about it. He spent, I'm sure he spent a lot of time, their coordinator who used to be here, I'm sure he spent a lot of time planning and thinking about where the sun was going to be. You should. And I've seen balls caught with the receiver looking back into the sun out there. I've seen balls dropped. I saw Jason Witten drop a ball. But I've sure seen a lot of opposing teams drop some balls too. And so it's a part of it. One of the things that I'm emphasizing here is that we know that whether it's snow, rain, sleet, mud, we know that elements play a part of football. You play the game in the elements as long as it's safe for everybody concerned. And so you play it in the elements. This is our stadium's way of having elements. And we should play to that when it's appropriate, and we should win out because it is our home field. It's where an advantage. Our Texas Stadium used to have the field went lower on the outside near the boundaries, and in the end zones, it had a drop-off. There was 18-inch difference from the crest of the field to the outside of the field. Well, we got to where our players and quarterbacks and receivers knew that 18-inch drop-off was there, so you threw the ball accordingly, ran the route accordingly. Visiting teams, forget about it, weren't used to adjusting on it, and we made that an advantage. It's so common in sports to have an advantage with your field or have an element of your field that can be a disadvantage, but because you're familiar with it, you have an advantage. I don't want to change that.
Jerry, last one for you here. Has there been a determination made on Dak having surgery?
Tomorrow.
A decision tomorrow?
And he'll have it there in New York. We had a good visit last night, and he wants to do that there, and he's got great medical doctors up there. It's a more common injury in hockey, and he's got doctors that are very familiar with how to repair that, and his prognosis is wonderful. It just means that we're not going to have him the rest of the year.
Jerry, thank you so much. We appreciate it, and go get him Monday night.
You bet.